All right, I skipped the day there. Just got too busy. I really had to buckle down and make some money. So we're going over, I think, not yesterday, but the day before. That'll be today's video. And kind of helps because now if I have another day, or I just can't make a video, I'll have a backup. I'll be one day ahead, so I can still put one up. Anyways, welcome to the channel. We find ourselves here at the bottom of the barrel, where plagiarized existence exists among the writers of the word. Props to anybody who knows where that's from. I'm your host, Southbound Pachyderm, here to present. Again, more props if you know where that's from too. As of yet, I don't think I have any views on any videos. Fairly boring presentation, so I don't blame you. Maybe one of these days we'll get a lonely stray visitor. If you are that person, please leave a comment, anything, even if it's just to tell me that I'm terrible and this sucks. Any engagement is good engagement, I would bet. Anyways, I work 15 plus hours a day, 7 days a week. Much of it is in gig work, but not all. I document it all. I'm getting more thorough with that documentation, and I'm looking at those numbers to see, really to identify the biggest sources of process waste. If you think about it, this, well, we'll get into that in a minute. I share that here so that other people might be able to use that information. Let me turn off my air conditioner. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I share that here so other people might be able to use it to improve their own process, and we can all make money together. I'm going to share a little bit of my my own personal perspective on life. Everyone can plant a seed. Let me start over. A lot of people look at life as a zero-sum game, and I just don't think that is the case. And did I just get a text? I did. Yeah, but some people think it's a zero-sum game, and I don't think it is. Imagine you're two people sitting in a forest with nothing, and there's a fruit-bearing plant nearby. One guy can go and get one of those fruits, get the seeds, plant those seeds, grow them, right? And then he's just created food. He's created value. He could share that with the other guy, or, the other guy could also go get some seeds and plant those seeds and create value for himself and share it with others around. But let's say that the first guy's already got plenty of fruit and he's sharing it all. So the second guy could go get water, or even create a piping system to bring the water over to where their houses are. Any one of those things, a person is creating value that didn't previously exist. He's not taking value away from other people in order to have something. He's creating value. And I think that everyone can plant some seeds. And value comes in all kinds of representations. And so you just have to look around you in your life, wherever you're at, and say, what can I do to create value here? And I don't mean create value to get rich. I mean create value to just increase the quality of life for yourself and for those around you, for your community, for your neighborhood, for everybody. Everybody can do that. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to look at life as a zero-sum game where you take from others, or others, if they're doing well, it's because they took from someone else. It just doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to look at it that way. So that said, let's look at how we're getting resources for ourselves and how we can make that process more effective and more efficient. Let's scrape something together here. So first I'm going to review the tracker setup. I've made some improvements visually and informationally. and hopefully that can help us understand better what's going on with our delivery process. I'll review these sections that like the summary sections, and then we'll call it a day and get to work. So yesterday I did work 16 hours. And actually it was more than that, because I spent about 4 hours before that working on non-gig work, other things that I'm more trying to get started. So yesterday was actually a 20-hour work day. I don't do that too often really anymore, but from time to time they come up. So gig work was 16 hours. I made this change here. I made it more readable, I think. I'm working to automate this tracker so I'm not doing it by hand. Just save a little bit of time every morning. I think it takes me about 20 to 30 minutes to really get all these numbers together. And that's 20 or 30 minutes I could be working. If it's 30 minutes, that's I'm making about $20 an hour doing this stuff right now. That's $10. So if that's every day, that's $300 a month, $3,600 a year. Which, if that's a down payment for a house with the 3% FHA loan, $3,600 would buy me how much house? That would be $12,000 worth of house. So I could get $12,000 more of a house if I was buying one at the end of the year, in 1 year. So 30 minutes a day is not a lot, but it definitely adds up. It definitely could be a fair amount of additional house at the end of the year. All right, so I changed how I present these numbers on each of these deliveries, and then I also I started grading them as to what the hourly wage would be for a particular order. So here's some good ones where this one was $24 an hour for 47 minutes. Those last two numbers there are the actuals. The ones above them are, the app always gives you an estimated time, and so you can see that this one, the estimate was 61 minutes for these two deliveries here, and 1067 and 845 together over 61 minutes would have been $19 an hour. I did it a little faster than the suggestion, and I got $24 an hour for 47 minutes. I have found that I tend to do a little better than the suggested time that the app gives me, whether it's Grubhub, DoorDash, or Uber. I tend to come in at or below the suggested time. So it seems to be a fairly reliable indicator. If it says 45 minutes, I'm probably going to do 40 minutes. From time to time, it does come out worse. Let's see, this one I did improve it, but not enough. I took it, even though it suggested $18 an hour for 23 minutes, I did it in 22 and got $19 an hour. But, it's still not 20 and above, which is what I'm aiming for. See, this one here, I don't know what happened on this one. It just really sucked. I think there was a lot of traffic. And so, I was only waiting for 1 minute because the order was not quite ready when I got there. It took about 5 minutes on a bad parking job, but it was a crappy order to begin with, where the total time estimate was 36 minutes. And the wage estimate would have been $17 an hour, which I shouldn't have accepted this one. And then it took me longer, and I wound up making $15 an hour for 39 minutes. That's really not good. So you can see most of these are good. Most of these are pretty good. Here's $35 an hour for 20 minutes, $35 an hour for 27 minutes. That's pretty good. This was really bad, and it's because there was just too much waiting. It even started off as not a good order. I shouldn't have accepted it, but I thought, they're saying I can do it in 32 minutes. I can probably do it in less, make $20 an hour. But no, it turned out way worse. I made $12 an hour for 46 minutes. This one, I don't remember what happened, but it's pretty bad. Here's another not good. So I got the green ones are good, the yellow ones are not good, and the red ones are bad. So this one, $18 an hour, it's not going to break the bank. If you got some of those in between your high-paying orders, it's not going to kill you. It's when you have nothing but not good orders and lots of trolling time. There's another good one, 23 an hour, 24 an hour, 55 an hour. Only for 11 minutes, but $55 an hour. That was a beautiful one. 22, 22, 28, 24, $40 an hour. There's a good one. Daddy's Cajun Bowl. $40 an hour for 17 minutes. If only they could all be like that and no trolling. All right, $30 an hour. Some good ones in there. I think tracking this gives me, in the moment, gives me a very good understanding of kind of gauging my ability to choose orders appropriately. Anyways, that's the change that I made to how I'm tracking. I think it's pretty interesting. I think there's more detail that would be interesting to get into, but I'm not going to do that. Just little bit by little bit, I'm going to modify my process. So here we go. We're just going to go over the overview now of kind of the breakdown of where our time went and where our biggest time wasters are. I had 41 orders over those 16 hours. Again, Uber is still my biggest, but Grubhub really came in clutch yesterday. Gave me a fair amount of deliveries. DoorDash, same with just 2. Over 16 hours, I had, I guess I got these 1929. I don't know what the mileage was. It was 300 and something. Oh, that's why. 308. 308 miles yesterday. City miles, and I still got about 38 miles per gallon, and I don't even have a hybrid, man. That's pretty good. 36. I think I got 36 miles per gallon. Total pay $3.23 per hour, broke down to about $20 an hour. Gas was $26. That's what I put in my tank every day. I fill it up usually just once. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. So those are the overall numbers. Here are for me, what's interesting: sources of waste. 16 hours. I took about 7 minutes of breaks. Again, I eat while I'm driving. If I got to go use the restroom, I wait until I have an order where there's waiting time, and then I just use the restroom while I'm waiting. And definitely wash my hands. Don't forget to wash your hands, guys. Some people get food poisoning. Trolling was rough, man. Well, about 25% of my time, 4 hours out of 16. Trolling is just when I'm driving around trying to get orders. I don't like to stay in one place because, if you're in one place and not moving and you're not getting orders, it's because there's no orders there or there's too many drivers. So I just never stop driving. Total waiting, 2 hours, roughly, just over 2 hours. Most of that was from not ready, 118 minutes, which is 2 hours, basically. Customer, delay because the customer is not available when they should be, or what have you, about 10 minutes. Parking, that's a new one I added because, sometimes I really mess up on the parking. That's something I can definitely improve myself, where I'm not really paying attention and I pass the restaurant and I have to kind of drive around the block, or I'm not paying attention as I arrive at the restaurant and then I have to, there's not good parking and I have to sit there and search, whereas if I would have been paying attention on the way in, towards the restaurant, I could have possibly spotted a good place to park close to it. Forgot, that's another one I added. I delivered the order and I realized I forgot the drink in my car, so I had to go back to my car, go back up 3 flights of stairs and drop off the drink. That I can definitely improve, but it was only 2 minutes, so it's not really a heavy hitter here. As usual, the biggest waiting time is an order not being ready, and there's not too much I can do there except for maybe pre-identify or identify the restaurants that tend to cause a lot of waiting and just stop taking orders from them. So that's something I'll probably, I have done that a bit. There's certain places I definitely don't pick up from, but maybe, I can analyze these orders that I have and see over time, really, are there any more restaurants that I should just as a rule avoid? But I think that's going to take some data over time. All right, now here's failed orders. Failed order is for whatever reason I can't complete it. Only had about a half an hour of time based on failed orders, and 2 of them were orders that were already picked up by somebody else. There's really not a lot I can do about that I'm aware of, and they were both Uber. They don't pay for that, so DoorDash at least pays half. So I don't mind it coming from DoorDash, but late at night, I know there's a lot of that happens more often, especially with Uber. And so if I have one that is like a fast food restaurant where those already picked up, issues tend to happen. If the delivery is most of the driving up front to the restaurant and then a very short distance to the customer, I may not take that at 3 a.m. But I don't know, it only happened twice out of 40 orders, so it's not really too big of a deal. Again, it's the biggest time waster on failed orders, but it's not the biggest time waster overall. One store was closed, but I only lost 3 minutes from when I accepted to when I had closed out the order in my app and moved on. Better, I got one of those. That's where I accepted an order and immediately got a better one after I'd spent a few minutes driving towards the first one. I don't usually do that. Usually when I get an order, I turn off the other apps or I pause them or whatever it is. I don't like to drop orders for this reason, but sometimes, before I, in the few seconds that I have between accepting one app order and turning off the others, a better one arrives. And if I already have a pretty decent order, I won't swap. But if I accepted a pretty crappy order just because I've been trolling for a while, and immediately afterwards a really good one comes, I'll do it. But I try not to ever drop an order that I've accepted. I had no canceled, no excessive wait time yesterday, no map failures where my map doesn't update and I wind up driving to the wrong location, and no not in system. So overall, 4 failed orders out of 40, 10%. That's not too bad. Only about a half an hour of wasted time on those, and most of that with orders already picked up from Uber. Again, it's a half an hour. It's $300 a month, but in money not earned. But again, it's not the biggest hitter. So here's the new section I popped in, the order quality. That's where the greens and yellows and reds, 36 of them were great, $20 and above. 3 of them were not good, where it was maybe 17 or 18 to $20, and 2 of them were bad, where it was under 17. It was actually, one was 15 and one was $12 an hour. So again, most of them are good, so I don't think order quality is really a big deal right now. I don't think that's something I need to really fret about. But it may be that even if I take some orders that are not good, between the 17 to 20 range, if that can eliminate a lot of the trolling time, those would bring down my average a lot less than $0 for the trolling time. If I work for an hour at $17 an hour, that's $17. If I'm trolling for an hour, I don't make any money. So, I'm hoping to use this information to adjust my order picking so that I can eliminate a little bit of trolling without, accepting really terrible orders. So we'll see. I'd rather improve my average earnings, like wages, by having more better offers to choose from, which means getting on more apps and maybe even different types of apps that have a similar, offer acceptance or rejection kind of thing. Like the laundry service that I've seen, maybe grocery shopping. There's a few apps that do that if I can get into them. Anyways, here is what I like looking at because it motivates me to eliminate waste. The theoretical limit. That's where I take all of the wasted time and remove it and say, if I made the same amount of money, but I didn't have any wasted time, how much would I have made per hour? And then if I extend that to 15 hours, how much would I have made in the day? So we made $323 over 16 hours. We had almost 7 hours of wasted time. It's a lot out of 16 hours. That's like, I can't do that math in my head, but that's almost 50% of the time was just not moving deliveries, not moving food from restaurant to customer. 4 of that was trolling, 2 of that was waiting, and just about a half an hour was failed orders. So trolling is the biggest, waiting is the second biggest. So it's very clear to me now what I need to do to make more money. I need to eliminate some trolling time. So I think soon we'll start going into what I'm doing in order to make those improvements. Adjustments. So the new time, if I subtract all the 6 hours and 45 minutes of wasted time, it would have been 9 hours and 13 minutes. So 9 hours of work, of real value-added work. If I made my $323 across 9 hours, I would have made $35 an hour. So if I had no waste in my process, I would have only had to work for 9 hours and I would have made $35 an hour. If I worked for 15 hours only, at the rate that I actually made, I would have made $303. This new wage, after eliminating the waste, I would have made $526 in 15 hours. So that's not quite double, but almost. It's a lot of money that is there on the table if I can figure out how to be more efficient. So, well, that's it. That's everything. So I hope you guys got something out of that. If you did, like and subscribe. I'm going to try and put this out every day, and I think once a week I'm going to try and make a different kind of video where I kind of dive a little deeper into some of this, some aspect of this that I find interesting. So that's about it for today. I will have another video up tomorrow. For now, this is the format, and eventually I'll learn how to do some editing and actually make you a more interesting video visually, but it'll have the same info pretty much. All right, you guys have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.